Job one was to survive, and surviving meant taking care of our people, keeping them safe, and protecting jobs. So to do this, with so many people depending on me for that, I first had to be strong myself. So stress management was key to my survival. This meant meditating every day to keep my mind calm, exercising every day to burn the stress away, and praying every day to strengthen my faith. So that's what I did. So I run several businesses, so I experienced the whole range of emotions in running this business, from the highest high to the lowest low. So for one business, Meg Philippines, which distributes high-end Italian appliances, we grew 50%. And so that was really wonderful. On the medium side of feelings is Condura. We still managed to make a profit. Of course, not like pre-pandemic, but to make a profit is already good. So that's okay. On the lowest of lows is a Jollibee store that I have. And that one was really terrible. I mean, we had no sales, of course, during lockdown. And when we were open, people were scared to go to the store. But I'm proud to say that we kept the management team there throughout the difficult times. So I'm happy with that. So to me, if you survive the pandemic, then that's excellent already, So bravo to all of us who made it through. During this pandemic, I drew inspiration from Jaime Auguste Zobel of Ayala Corporation. I agree with him that we are all so closely interconnected to each other, and that without our customers, we are literally dead. And their survival means our survival. So it reinforces what I've always believed, that at the end of the day, businesses must be there to make the world a better place. That we were given this opportunity, and that we must use this opportunity to contribute in nation building. Because what is good for the country is ultimately good for business. How am I preparing for the future? Well, to me, the future is already here. It's a very uncertain world where change is always constant and happening at a rapid pace, but it's also filled with a lot of opportunities and a lot of challenges. But as the Chinese say, in every crisis, there's opportunity. So my mindset is this. So from the ashes of the pandemic, we will build again and rise up like a phoenix. To do this, we must go back to the basics and do them well. What are the basics? First is to thyself be true, which means knowing your strengths and weaknesses and focusing and capitalizing on your strengths. Second is focusing on the core, which is your strength, and just really doing a few things, but doing them very well. It also means pruning out the non-core businesses or products and getting rid of all of those other things that distract you. Third is to focus on the customer and to innovate for them. I mean, it sounds like common sense, but often when we are a big company, we tend to forget why we're here, and that is the customer. Instead, we're so busy on getting promoted or running the company that we forget to focus on the customer. So that's very important. I can encapsulate this further with the secret sauce, which has helped me run my businesses for the past many years. It has helped me pivot away or survive the pandemic. And to me, the secret sauce is my strategy to propel us into the future. And so I'd like to share what this secret sauce is. Quite simply, it's 3 ingredients. The first is the spirit of the entrepreneur. During this pandemic, you've heard a lot of people pivoting, and pivoting really means seizing an opportunity, knowing the market, and going for it. And so this is something that we should not just do during the pandemic, but this is something that we should constantly do at an even rapid pace. So as we get bigger, as I said, we tend to lose our entrepreneurial zeal. But now more than ever, that is what is needed to survive. So always never let go of your entrepreneurial roots. That is so important. Second is the discipline of a publicly listed company. So entrepreneurs are good, but maybe sometimes you're not good in running businesses. But multinationals and public organizations are really good at running bureaucracies, but not and implementing ideas, but not necessarily good in creating new businesses. So if you can marriage both, that would be fantastic. But wait, there's more. If you can add the third element, which is the heart of the family. And family means not only by blood, but also the communal feeling that everyone in the organization has a shared purpose other than making money. I think, as I mentioned before, the ultimate goal and purpose of business is to make the country a better place. And if you have an organization that believes in that whatever, when they go to work, it's not just to sell more products, but they are actually making the Philippines a better place, then that is truly meaningful. And if you share that with a bunch of people that share the same values, then work and life becomes very purposeful. So that secret sauce is about the entrepreneur, about the discipline of a publicly listed company, systems, procedures, etc. And yung puso, the heart and soul. So to me, if you have this secret sauce, this will take you to the future. And no matter what crisis comes our way, basta those three elements are there, you'll not only survive, but you will thrive. During this pandemic, it made me appreciate even more my AIM education. I've met a lot of peers who have studied in prestigious business schools abroad, and I can proudly say that our AIM education can compete toe-to-toe with the best in the world. Why? Quite simply this, and I would say especially for my EMBA, it's because we have a global educational system in AIM. I mean, what they teach abroad, they also teach at school. But our single most important advantage is that we can immediately apply this to our work and to the local environment. And so I find that lessons are really cemented in my brain. It's been 20 years since I took my EMBA, and yet I can still remember my lessons and our professors. It's because from theory, we can apply it into reality and into a local setting. And when I say apply to a local setting, I also mean that I think the AIM graduate is very flexible and resourceful and innovative. I mean, we're not stuck with dogma, I would think, but since we are able to apply immediately what we learned in the classroom into the boardroom, the lessons become more realistic, not theoretical, more applicable, and more important, it lasts a lifetime. So I am so grateful for my AIM education, especially my EMBA, because where's the proof? Well, the proof is that is in the pudding. It helped me survive and helped us survive this crisis. And in fact, we're looking forward to the future of growth powered by the AIM education. So what are the three things I could say? There are many things that I learned, but let me focus it on three things. First thing is this. During the pandemic, you learn a lot of things. You see so many things. And what I've seen is a lot of people who don't know what to do. I mean, it's like basically people who are in quicksand, if you can imagine, and they thrash about because they're scared, they're sinking. But the more they thrash about, the more they sink. So when in reality, what they have to do is calm down, don't move, assess the situation, and then from there, find a solution on how to get out. But as I said, on the contrary, most people think that by doing more and thrashing about that they would solve the problem, which is incorrect. So I say this in the context of Porter's 5 forces. I think the whole industry, the whole world has changed, and it takes a while for people to realize that. It also takes a while for people to realize that their business model may be dead. It may take them a while to realize that they are no longer relevant or no longer competitive, because this didn't happen in small incremental steps, but in big steps, and sometimes reality still hasn't hit. So sometimes they don't know what to do because of that, and so they try to do more, but as I said, these things make them sink some more. So the 5 forces framework is very important to see on a helicopter macro scale what is happening to the industry, what is happening to the business. How red ocean is it? How do we compete in that environment, or should we get out? So to me, I think 5 forces is a perfect way, especially now, for people to reassess their business and their very existence, to be honest, and whether they are still relevant in the future, and if they can compete and how they will compete. So that's one. Second is, once you know what you want to do, I always listen to my systems thinking class, and it's what you call the law of the unintended consequences. That always rings in my mind all the time. When you think of things to do, you have all of these ideas, but the AIM education always rings in my mind, and it says, teka muna, baka may negative consequences that may happen when you do a certain action. So when you think of the negative consequence, it's not only thinking of the negative, but it makes you think like systems oriented of the whole picture, all the departments, all the functions, all the IQ, EQ, and SQ. When you make a decision, it's a very holistic decision, and not just from a marketing point of view or a finance. So I think AIM really is fantastic because it makes you think on a micro level, of course, but also on a very general management level, which ultimately is a very strategic level. And it makes you listen, because systems thinking is about listening and kind of having like a high EQ, because if you listen, then you feel for people, and using your IQ to solve problems. So I think that's wonderful. And the third is my marketing class. It's Tommy Lopez ER. So he always says, what's your So up to now, that's stuck with me. What's your means, are you better, faster, cheaper, etc. But you need to know what your It astounds me that so many people in marketing or in an organization don't know what their ER is, right? They're just same like others, or let's compete on the price, which to me is the worst way to compete, the battle of the lowest cost. But ER is about what's your differentiation, what makes you different. And ultimately, if what makes you different is relevant to the target market that you're addressing. And so it goes back to the basics again, knowing your customers, right? Knowing who they are, then knowing who you are, what your strengths are, and then capitalizing on this capitalizing on this to run or make a business that is successful, guided by the secret sauce, as I said, spirit of entrepreneurship, discipline of a public company, and the heart of the family. So I am very grateful for my AIM education. Like all things, you only get what you put in. I would like to say that in an AIM education, the students really get to put in more, because it is in the context of, especially with EMBA, it is in the context of work, and they are eager to learn immediately from the classroom, so that they can easily translate it back to the boardroom or to the work environment. So I'm thankful for AIM deep in my heart. So thank you so much for this opportunity to speak with you this morning. I'm really truly honored that you would think that I have something to share. And I hope whatever I shared can, in a small way, help you with your businesses. So thank you very much, and good morning.